So here's our collection. Well, one of the solar systems we have. This is the smallest one we have in Casita Verde. It's just 1 kilowatt of solar panels here. I've just come up here to actually make them a little bit more efficient, cleaning some dirty rain off there that's fallen in the last few days, which leaves a fine deposit on the solar panels and of course blocks a little bit of the sunshine. Basically these panels, as you can see, they're all in lines and they're all facing the same way. They're all facing south, in fact. And the angle at which they're installed, that's also quite important if you want to have the maximum efficiency from your panels. These are actually looking at the sun on the 21st of December at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. That's when the sun is at its lowest point in the year. So every day after that there's more sunshine and for a longer period of time. One of the problems we do have with solar panels in the summertime here is that they tend to lose about 40% of their efficiency when they get too hot. But of course it's compensated by the fact that there's more sunshine in the summertime and there's more hours of sunshine. So more or less we get the same amount of sun into the batteries every day. And here in Casita Verde we have plenty of solar energy. We have enough solar energy to use any kind of electrical device, even welding equipment, very heavy consumption kitchen equipment, and everything's like the vacuum cleaners. We even have an electric car, a small electric car, which we charge it with sun energy when we have plenty. So it's a matter of getting used to using the stuff. Obviously you don't vacuum your room on a rainy day, you wait till it's sunny and then you've got plenty of energy going into the batteries. So anyway, this is a typical array of solar panels for a small house. This is only a 40 square meter house, so this is plenty of solar panels in a place where we have 300 days a year sunshine, like in Ibiza for example. So there's no reason why Ibiza could not be 100% energy efficient with a combination of solar energy and, for example, biogas, which we can produce from the enormous amount of excrement we have from the tourist industry, plus a lot of biomass we have from the forest. Half of the island is made of forest, so we've got plenty of natural materials to use without burning fossil fuels to make energy. So how do these things work? I'm just going to clean them a little bit. That's one of the things we do occasionally. I'm just going to clean off a little bit of the accumulated dust from the dirty rain we've just had in the last few days from the Sahara, which deposits a film of dust onto the panels. So just to make them a little bit more efficient, we'll clean that dust off. That's all you need to do. That's the only maintenance you actually have to do to solar panels to keep them working efficiently. These will work for years and years and years. I've actually got solar panels here that were built in the 1960s and they're still working. We don't actually know how long solar panels will last, but most modern solar panels are guaranteed for 30 years at 80% efficiency. That's more than anything else that we produce. A house is never guaranteed for 30 years, and certainly not things like cars and motorbikes and kitchen equipment. They usually have a year or two guarantee at the most. So solar panels are very, very efficient things to use. The way they work actually is this is silica, which is very, very common all over the world, and these are actually very fine crystal laminates of silica, which is a material that reacts to sunlight. When sun shines on this material, it knocks off some free electrons, which then can be collected in some terminals on the back of the panel, and they go down into a regulating system, and then they're fed into the batteries to charge up the heavy-duty solar batteries we have here, and then we take out from the batteries with some very big cables the electricity that's stored in the batteries, and we change it into 220 volts for use around the whole farm here. So you can do the same thing in your house, and more people actually are switching to solar energy, especially in places like Spain, where we have an abundant source of this natural energy and it's not contaminating at all, of course. So here's one way of collecting energy. There's another one. There's a wind generator up here. It's going to go around a bit faster in a minute when the wind blows. This doesn't create too much electricity, but it does keep the batteries charged up in the night when there's no sunshine. We will probably install a larger wind generator one day, but still, for me, solar panels are the most efficient way of collecting energy from the nature on the island of Ibiza. Because wind is kind of now and again, sometimes it is windy, sometimes it isn't. But the best way to deal with it actually is have a combination of wind and sun energy, and then actually you can't fail to get something into the batteries. Because it's either going to be windy, if there's a storm for example, your wind generator will be working. And if it's sunny, your solar panels will be working. And if you've got wind and sun at the same time, well, you get two types of input into your solar system. So that's the electrical system sorted out. We're going to have a look at the other installations that deal with the electricity once we've captured it from the solar panels. We're going to have a look at the battery systems and the converters and everything. They're in another place. But while we're up here on the roof, I'd just like to show you these things. These are solar water heaters, and we have several of these on the property here. This is a manufactured one. It's a very good brand from Germany. This will last, I would say, about 50 or 60 years without any problems. It's a fantastic investment. In fact, more or less in the first 2 years you get your money back, and then you've got more than 48 years free hot water. And this will produce 150 litres of hot water per day, which is perfectly enough to serve a house of this size for showering and washing the dishes and any other purposes you want to use hot water for. And what we do as well is when we cook, we actually cook with hot water. If you want to boil your vegetables, for example, you take the hot water from the hot water system, then you don't have to use so much gas or electricity to heat up your food. So if you want to boil something, you just take the nearly boiling water from the solar panel system. So here's the other part of the solar system. These two things here, these are the regulators. These actually regulate the amount of energy that's being fed into the solar batteries by the panels. I have two here back to back because in this particular system, which is the second system in Casita Verde, we have 3 kilowatts of solar panels feeding into these batteries. So I've had to put two of these outback charge controllers in line so that we can handle the amount of current, electrical current, that's going into the batteries. So basically the solar panels come into here. We're regulating the amount of charge that's going into these huge batteries here. These are special solar batteries. They're gel batteries. They are lead acid gel batteries. I was very fortunate to get them very cheaply from my brother, who lives on the island, who has a solar energy business. And because one of them blew up in the house of a very rich person, the guy decided to throw them all away. So I got them at a completely scrap value price, which was incredible. These are normally 1,000 euros each cell. So imagine this would cost, those are 12 batteries there, that would be 12,000 euros just in batteries. And these other pieces of equipment here, these are not cheap either. This one here would cost about 2,000 euros, and these are normally about 1,000 euros each, these charge controllers. But this is top quality equipment made in America. We like it very much because it works fantastic. This piece of machinery here, this is the power generator. This changes in this case 24 volts DC, that's direct current, into 220 volts alternative current, and it has a capacity of 2.5 kilowatts. That's 2,500 watts continuous use, and we can actually draw 4 kilowatts from this unit without destroying it if we want it, but just for a short amount of time, like as if we're welding something with a welding machine. We're not using it continuously, we're just using it for short periods of time. So this machine will deliver all that power even to weld metal together. So there's the fan coming on, you can hear the fan. This is to cool the equipment down as it gets hot. When there's a lot of current going through it, when the sun's shining on the panels, a lot of current is coming into the batteries. So there's a fan here to keep the internal electronics cool. during that process. So it's a typical installation. We've got some spare batteries here as well, in case some of these batteries go wrong, and we keep these charged up. The other house system uses exactly the same batteries, so I've always got three spare. I've actually got 5 spare batteries here, so I can interchange them. What we do is every year we just swap them around so that these are maintained charged up, and they can stay charged up for a year at a time without damaging them at all. They're very good quality batteries. I'm super happy with them, and I hope they're going to last me long enough before we can have the next generation Tesla batteries over here, which are coming out soon and getting cheaper all the time. And those will last a lot longer than these, as they're much more high powered and later technology. So of course this works very well if it's sunny. So there are occasions when we have a few days of rain, so we have a backup generator, which is just a petrol generator, which delivers about 1.5 kilowatts, which will charge up the batteries via the charger there. But we've hardly ever used it. In fact, I haven't used it for over a year, which is just to show that we don't need that thing here very often in Casita Verde. We have so many panels. In fact, I've even got 3 kilowatts of panels I haven't taken out the boxes yet because we don't need them. I'm waiting till we buy some more electric cars, and then I will make an electric car charging station in the car park, so that we can charge our electric cars with the sun energy, which of course is free at the moment.